Welcome to the Automation Unplugged podcast, the podcast for technology professionals, featuring leading industry personalities. I'm your host, Ron Callis.
Let's get started.
Welcome, everybody. We're here for a special bonus episode of Automation Unplugged, Marketing Experts. I am once again your host, Catherine Wheeler, and today we're going to do a little something different. So you've probably seen the webinars and the teasers floating around at One Firefly about our newest product, LuxePost. But today is not a demo or a deck walkthrough. It's just a conversation about the why. Why direct mail? Why now? And what we're hoping that means for integrators and the future of marketing in our space. So joining me today is somebody who knows just a little bit about innovation, our founder and CEO, Ron Callis. Ron, thanks for being here.
Hello, Kat. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Always a good time when I can get you on the show. So let's start with the obvious. Digital marketing is everywhere. It's kind of One Firefly's jam. It's what we do. We live and breathe websites, SEO, Google Ads, content, all that digital stuff. So why are we adding something tactile? Why bring back mail in 2025?
Yeah, I know it's a bit odd. Probably strikes many as what are they doing? Didn't they do that 50 years ago? I think the short reason is we are always actively listening to our clients, Kat. And you and our sales team and our account managers have been bringing feedback back to me and our product team. And what we started to hear, I would say through 23 and through 24 is more and more of our clients were actually doing direct mail, having success with it. And they were saying, we'd really appreciate if One Firefly would do this and quote, do it the One Firefly way. And I think that maybe means add a little bit more detail and sophistication to the process or method so that there's more attribution, more tracking to it. And so what that did for us is it kicked off a research project. And we don't immediately just jump and start developing. I did that in my early years, wasn't always fruitful. So when we have ideas like that surface, we run them to ground. In our case, we did a lot more interviewing of a broader set of our clients, those that were doing direct mail, those that were not doing it. And then we went and started to look at what does the science side of it say? And i.e., what does direct mail look like today? This is 2025. We're recording this. And for us, it was an overwhelmingly very positive and interesting set of findings. I'm sure we'll get into it, but we felt that if we could really define ideal customers, i.e. the types of people that our customers, our technology contracting clients would want to reach, and if we could put the right type of messaging out there, and then when people find that postcard in the mail and they find it interesting, allowing for a response to be tracked and accountable, meaning they went back to a page and they maybe filled out a form or did something. And if we could serve all that up in a dashboard with reports and findings for our clients, they would likely find that valuable. And so that's the why we ended up going down that road.
Well, I'm going to stop you right there because I want to dig into a lot of what you just said. So first thing is, I love that this isn't just nostalgia. It isn't just doing it because it's a thing you can do. This is a strategy that you and our team here has built out. So it's giving integrators a way to show up kind of in a more human way and get in the door another way. Is that a correct assumption?
A way that anyone listening or watching I'd have you think about is, and I'm not talking poorly about this tactic, but I am just going to maybe state the obvious. How many of you might send an email that goes unopened or unviewed by your clients? And how many of you get a tremendous number of emails in any given day? And the answer is probably all of us. I know I'm very proud in 2025, I moved to inbox 0, but I don't get credit for that myself. It's because I started working more effectively with my assistant, Allison, and now she and I as a team are at inbox 0.
No, let's be honest and know that that's all Allison.
It actually is all Allison. I give her all the credit in the world. But nonetheless, we've achieved inbox 0. And I just, if you think of that as a tactic, email, we're big on email marketing for service businesses, which all of our clients are service businesses. Um, that is a proven effective method of local businesses staying in front of their customer base. And at the same time, our clients additionally are seeking methods to reach new types of customers. And specifically, not anybody, you don't want, I don't want to be demeaning here, but some clients want this, but most will tell us they don't want like people calling just for someone to hang their TV. Right? There's a very particular type of customer that our customers generally want to appeal to. They want to do projects, fully integrated systems, and they would love nothing more than for there to be lead generation, leads for those types of customers. And so the normal method to go about that would be Google advertising. And we practice Google ads for our clients across North America. But like, what else? What other tactics could there be to activate lead gen? And that's again where this idea of targeting the right type of clients, I'll call it at the right level of income or home value or buying power, and then putting an effective message in front of them that triggers their curiosity, maybe educates them, nudges them down that buyer journey, if you will, to the point where ultimately they're inspired to take action. And that ultimately means a hand raise. And we're going to call that hand raise a lead. Like if someone says, "Hey, I'd like to learn more about this particular subject," we know that our clients, at least many of them, would find that very interesting. What our research proved to us is that that is an effective method to market, even today in 2025, especially when you add some of the layers of technology that we've added to the total service we call LuxePost.
I love that. So I
And
think, oh, sorry.
that led to us launching ultimately the service.
Yeah, I think what I'm hearing and what I really appreciate is that, us as an industry, we're all like early adopter people. So we think everybody is a technology guy and not everyone is. And we reach a lot of people that way. But there are still people out there who are not technology people. And so how do we want to reach those people? And this is a great way of physically getting in the front door.
It's not that odd. I mean, like, I'll just give an example. I've stayed, actually I'm going to hold up a book here. I book clubbed with my onboarding team, the gold standard. I'll hold it up there. The Ritz Carlton, the 5 leadership principles for creating a legendary customer experience. And this is themed around, best practices at the Ritz Carlton. And I actually have never stayed at a Ritz Carlton. And so I said, so this year I went and stayed at a few Ritz Carltons. I brought my wife. We made a weekend out of it, and it was not necessarily a business expense, but it was business research. I wanted to go stay at these hotels to see, was what I was reading about, how much of that did I personally experience? I'm stating all of that like that's a luxury brand offering a luxury service. And the Ritz Carlton has actually now put me into some feed, and I'm receiving correspondence in the form of postcards to my home. I also personally I drive a BMW. I've driven BMWs for the last, I mean, off and on for the last 25 years. And my local dealer, I work with a dealer here in South Florida, and they have me on a feed, and I am receiving the latest education and offers. Sometimes it comes in the form of magazines. Sometimes it comes in the form of just slicks. Think of them as postcards. And they are arriving at my house. And although I do not personally check the mail, my wife or son typically are grabbing the mail out of the mailbox. And but it sits in a location down in our study. And I'll go in there randomly, and I'll just peruse because I'm curious, like, wow, what does mail look like these days? And I'll flip through it, and there is that correspondence. And so many luxury brands are still using this format of putting things in the mail. And I would, I'll just close that idea. I think it's a great way to at least get in front of some of your target customers some of the time. They're not going to look at everything every time, but they'll look at it some of the time. And that's, what you're looking for in marketing is to plant subconscious seeds of an idea. And that's what you're doing by putting it at least in their mailbox.
I love it. And I think one thing we touched on a little bit, but I want to kind of explore this a little bit deeper is what makes LuxePost different isn't just that we're sending a postcard and hoping, right? It's data driven and we're trying to reach specific homeowners. So there's different ways that we are letting dealers select the customers that are most important to them or the ones that they think are their ideal customer. Is that correct?
100%. For example, you would not want to blanket all areas of every city, USA, because a lot of the people in a lot of those areas aren't necessarily the customer of our customer.
Correct.
So when we work with our clients, we number one want to know typically within a radius fashion. A lot of our clients work. They like to roll a truck or van at some radius from their warehouse or shop. And so that already by default limits it to some geographies in a city. And then even within those geographies, there might only be certain areas of that city where your really ideal customer lives. And so knowing that geography matters, and then knowing that at least if you want to get a great customer for an integrator, that person probably needs to have the means at least at a baseline, they need to have the means to then make the purchase. So when we are working with our data providers, we are able to discern the net worth of, I mean, for example, our data providers give us access to everybody in the US Census data set. So it is everybody since the last census. Every census, does it get updated every 10 years? I think it's every 10 years.
I feel like you're right.
It might be right. We'll fact check that. We'll drop it down in
We'll
the
look
show
that up.
notes. But within that data set, we know household income, we know home value. There are ways to discern buying power, which is, how much ability does someone have to then spend money and make a purchase? And those are just a couple of a large, large diversity of demographic profiling criteria that we can use to then define what would be ideal customers to send communication for the goods and services that our clients offer.
How does that kind of precision change the game for integrators compared to blasting digital ads or running like generic local campaigns?
I'm going to say it's another tactic to test out and determine, does it deliver return on investment, right? Because, we talk about integrated marketing here at One Firefly. Just as our integrators, they integrate lighting and shading and music and security and all the jazz. We integrate different marketing strategies together that ultimately are designed to help our clients achieve their business goal. So as long as they know what they're trying to accomplish in their business, whether that's to grow top line revenue, grow bottom line profitability, do more of this particular category of solution. Maybe you want to grow your lighting and shading business, or maybe you want to better try to appeal online and you want to grow your Macintosh audio business because you picked up that line and they have really wonderful, loyal customers and you want to make sure they know to shop with you. Whatever is your goals for your business, you then want to align your marketing strategy to that. And then within your marketing strategy, you want to have a whole set of tactics which are designed to get you in front of your ideal customers or the avatars, the people that matter to you. Examples would be your current customers. That's an audience that absolutely should matter to our listeners and watchers, our viewers, not our watchers. But then you also have maybe certain slices of the luxury consumer, right? From the single $1 million clients to the clients with net worth in the tens of millions to the hundreds of millions up to the billions, right? So a lot of the folks tuned in They have clients that fit in all of those different categories. All of them are air quotes wealthy, but some are more wealthy than others. And so if you know the audiences that you want to appeal to, then the second part of that equation is, well, what's your message? And then when you know your message, you then say, well, what's the action you want that audience to take? So if you can get in front of that audience, deliver a message, and then give them an appropriate action, you now ideally you want to be able to track, does that investment or effort actually track? Does it deliver results?
You have hit on something that I think is really important, and that's bridging that physical and that digital, that integrated concept. We do integration in our AV. We also need to do integration in our marketing. So, one thing LuxePost has, it's a little different, is all of that digital integration from call tracking, form capture, live chat, all of that stuff to kind of help make it better. So, Ron, you know that I love to play a game in the podcast.
Let's
And
go.
this is the game that we're going to play today.
You
So,
didn't tell me what the game was going to be, but you said there's going to be a game.
there's
So
always a game.
I'm
We're always going to play a game.
ready to go.
All
Well, I don't know if I'm ready to go, but I'm going to do my best.
That's okay. There's no competition today, so no matter what happens, you're going to win. This is going to be a quick round of what we're going to call mail it or fail it. So since, LuxePost is integrated with all of these different tactics to try to drive ROI and measurability and help our customers, really navigate and hone in on their marketing strategy, I have a list of things that you might want to include in your direct mail campaign, or something that we should leave back in like 1995. Okay. So mail it or fail it. Number 1, a unique QR code that tracks every visit.
Definitely. What do I say? Mail it?
Mail it.
Yeah, mail it. Yes, we want to do that.
Scratch and sniff brochures that smell like smart home automation.
We're not going to do that. Is that fail it?
That's a fail it.
That's a fail it. Yes. I could think of all sorts of smells you do not want to include on those cards.
Smart home being like top of the list.
Yes.
Yeah.
Smell. What is that? The smell of wires or burnt magic smoke?
Yeah. Yeah. Burnt solder.
Yeah. No.
Something fun. Handwritten postcards for 1,500 prospects.
I mean, I'm going to say, yeah, that's a trick question, because that would be amazing and really, really hard to do. As someone that likes to send personal notes and stationery to people, it's awesome. It's rarely done, but my goodness, is it time consuming. So for that reason, I'm going to say fail it.
Yeah, unless you really love carpal tunnel, maybe not a great idea to commit to 1,500 cards.
Yeah, I mean, even I'm trying to think, like, for our clients and even our team, at different times, I've done large batches of custom personalized notes, and when I'm about a quarter of the way through it, I always regret it. I was like, what in the world was I thinking?
Well, I will say you wrote us all personalized notes to go in our little goodie bags at our last team event, and it meant something to me. So it is worthwhile to do it, but 50 is different than 1,500.
I tell you what, so I'm gonna circle, I'm gonna tighten, I'll put a bow on this topic by saying, anyone listening that takes the time to write a personal note to a client or a friend or a coworker, do it. It's always a good idea, and it will always be memorable, and it will stand out and elevate you in the eyes of that individual, that person.
100%.
But for large bulk campaigns, think of it like we're fishing in a pond, and that pond is the geography within that demographic audience you've defined. I mean, we need to put a lot of hooks with a lot of bait in the water and see if we get any nibbles or bites, and to rely on handwritten notes, not a great idea.
Okay. Adding call tracking, form capture, and chat integration.
100%. In marketing, and this is I'm going to give an unscientific ratio here. This is purely pulled from where, but it feels approximately correct. And that is about 50% of the marketing that you're going to do is going to be very unsatisfying and very necessary, because you're going to be building your brand and elevating your brand. but you're not going to exactly know of that marketing effort what's attributing to new business, whether recurring or clients coming back to you or whether finding a new customer. And then there's another type of marketing, let's call it the other half, that you can very tightly attribute your investment to actions. Examples of that would be Google ad campaigns tied to landing pages. A version is LuxePost direct mail tied to landing pages with QR codes, where on your landing pages, you've got the appropriate Google ad cookies planted on those pages so that you can do the tagging and the attribution tracking. You have the form fills, the call tracking, and or in our case, we always also put our chat agents on those pages to maximize our ability to capture any lead. And if you then are doing that and surfacing that into a dashboard where you have visibility, and then I'm going to say, I think One Firefly puts sugar on top because then we attach an account manager to talk to the customer about it. So it helps them interpret what is all this marketing stuff. What does it mean? Like when you have the data and you have the people in your life that help you interpret the data, I think that's the good stuff. It's not rarely done, and that's why One Firefly does it because we like to do what's hard.
Okay. Uh, let's see. Including a CD-ROM or thumb drive with your company video in the mail.
Do not do that. I don't know that anybody, including myself, I'm trying to think, how would I even run a CD-ROM?
No, I found my old book of CDs the other day. I can't even play them. There's nowhere.
And I would say a thumb drive in the mail, like that is a really good way to get a virus on your computer.
Well, let's plug it
So
in. I'm not plugging it in.
like I've watched way too many sci-fi shows like where that's like where a lot of bad things start. You get a random thumb drive and you decide to pop that in your computer.
No.
Next thing you know, your bank accounts are cleared out. So yeah, don't do that.
No, Cameron has made us watch way too many videos about fishing for me to ever plug in an unknown thumb drive.
Exactly.
Thank you, Cameron. Okay. Luxury creative, like not just generic stuff on your postcards, but luxury creative that matches your brand. So whatever your brand story is, it's going with that.
So much in communication is nonverbal and it's not necessarily about the written word. I mean, words matter. Not going to dismiss those of us out there that love words. But if you can show a beautiful space that or application of technology, everyone listening or watching they're this far in with us, Kat, these are our people. They know what we're talking about. They work in beautiful projects. Many of them do not photograph those beautiful projects, but we're going to tell them right now they should. They should photograph those jobs and they should create beautiful video of those jobs. But regardless, your audience, the customers that you're trying to appeal to, they care deeply about relating to you as a service provider and understanding that you know them and you understand the type of home or property that they have. And you can do so much communication with beautiful media. So in this case, in the form of direct mail, that imagery should directly be close to at the same level or status of their home and their space. The same would go for your website, your Instagram page, and so on and so forth. But yeah, visuals matter so much.
So we're talking about visuals. Next, mail it or fail it. Glitter, just glitter.
Yeah, fail. Yeah, no, fail. What was it, Kat? You showed me something and I totally failed on you because you were showing me a meme. It
The
was
glitter
from
box.
you showed me a meme. It had glitter and you showed me a logo or something and you made it out of glitter. You didn't make it out of glitter. You digitally made it out of glitter.
It was Taylor Swift's album announcement, and all of the big brands were hijacking her marketing, the colors and the scheme of it to do tangential campaigns and brand jack on her album launch.
And that just
I made
showed
one
that
for One Firefly, and you made fun of me.
I was totally not hip. I'm gonna admit I don't listen to a lot of Taylor Swift. Nothing against Taylor Swift. I know there's lots of Swifties out there.
Now you've invited the wrath of the Swifties.
All of you Swifties, do not hate me. I think she's very fine. She's a good singer. Good for her. But I was not hip to the glitter branding. And so, yeah, I missed that train. Anyway, we derail. Yeah, do not put glitter on your postcards. Bad
I
idea.
can just see everybody in their $2 million, $5 million homes opening envelopes and just glitter.
Yeah.
They'll never buy from you. No.
Yeah.
Okay. That was our game, and I appreciate you letting me land it on a fun note. But so I just want to touch on one thing that I think is really important, or maybe it's not, but you'll tell me. There's something interesting about this as a campaign compared to all the other like One Firefly marketing campaigns is that there's an exclusivity to this.
Yes.
What is that? Tell me there.
Simply put, this is the first service we've offered in 18 years where we do offer exclusivity, meaning that when we start working with a client, we now have a awesome set of clients nationwide and many, if not most major markets where we're running LuxePost. When we collaborate on the list that we're going to be mailing for the client, which a 3-month campaign, correct me if I get anything wrong, Kat, but a 3-month campaign is out of the gate, what's priced in is 1,500 homes. And a 6-month campaign is, I think, 1,750 homes. There we go. Got Kat's nod of approval. And those homes, and specifically those home addresses, will only exclusively be available to, let's call it customer A that engages us for the campaign. So even if customer B comes to us in that same city, wants the same geography, let's say they wanted the same demographic profile, the same audience. If dealer A has engaged that list, then we will not relinquish those home addresses to dealer B.
Yeah. So the end user's not getting cards from more than one dealer.
That's right. Clear lines of communication. And even at the end of a campaign, we offer our client the right of first refusal to either continue messaging to that audience, maybe with a different campaign or theme. And only after, I want to say it's 45 days of one of our clients ending a campaign and they say they don't want to continue, then would we put those names back into the general lottery for other dealers to select.
I'm really engaged with this, and I know I work here, so it's a little weird for me to say it, just because I work here. But it seems like this is kind of bringing a lot of things together. So it's brand story, it's artistry, it's innovation, it's this exclusivity piece to it. It's physical, it's digital, it's tracking, and at the end of the day, it's not about postcards per se. It's about helping integrators make a memorable first impression or an impression that leads to a more elevated personal experience with that customer, which is what a customer of that level, a luxury customer, expects. Is that what you guys are thinking kind of as you're designing this product?
We're executing a direct mail campaign I would say, in a very high level, excellent way. It's beautiful art, beautiful messaging, everything's branded. And it's tight. It's more sophisticated than the typical direct mail where the homeowner might receive it and they see a website and they go to the homepage of your website. We're driving them through a QR code to a directly tightly aligned message landing page, and then multiple forms of attribution tracking, i.e. capturing the lead or the information or the prospect, even going as far if our clients had a CRM and wanted that to be tied into their CRM, we can do that. And we're happy to help them tie that directly into their CRM for lead capture. This will work for some of our clients some of the time. We're right now active with lots of campaigns across the country. We're going to have a lot more data in the coming months. And I think that this is if I say so myself, I think it's neat and innovative as a tactic for dealers to test out. If it works and generates leads for you, it's going to pay for itself very quickly. And it's something that dealers can grow with us because we launched the LuxePost product themed around Lutron campaigns, so lighting and shading. But we are right now in development of our new campaigns. We'll be releasing those messages and theming very soon, in time for Q1 2026. And our goal is based on our clients telling us what they need, what they want, i.e., us being active listeners, asking the right questions and listening well. We're going to keep launching new campaign themes, whether it's general solution themes, not tied to a brand, a manufacturer brand, and or tying it directly to manufacturer themes. We're going to do all of the above. So, but we're going to be building these out because there is so much imagery work and messaging work, and then of course creative build out with landing pages. It's very intensive to build the whole infrastructure out to then launch it into the market. So we want to make sure to the best of our ability, we're throwing that dart to the dartboard, but we're doing it based on where our customers say the bullseye is. And I'm excited about where it's going to go in the future.
I am too. I appreciate you taking the time and letting us do a special episode just to talk about this, because I think there's a lot to unpack in this. But I want to ask you kind of one more question before we go. And maybe this is a bad question. I don't know. Answer the best you can, Ron. But what do you hope that a homeowner feels the first time they open that first LuxePost card they get it in the mail?
The first thing I would want them to feel is curiosity. I would want them to say, well, that's a beautiful image. They're not trying to, slam a sale or a promotion or an offer in my face. And they're simply speaking to me about my hopes and dreams and wishes to have a beautiful home. And some of the homeowners or the people, whether it's a homeowner's representative or some member of the family that opens that and looks at it, some of those people, some of the time will find that intriguing. They still might just put it in the drawer in the kitchen. But then the next month they get something and it's continuing along the same theme, but they're approaching it a little bit differently. And the goal is that one of those touches inspire them to act. And that's marketing in a nutshell, right? Trying to get in front of the right audience and ultimately put the right message that gets them to act in a way that benefits our clients.
Beautifully said. And for anybody that wants to dive deeper into the nuts and bolts of this, how should they do that?
But you could visit One Firefly. You can the website, and you can give us a call 954-921-2393. That's our main line. You can be directed to one of our account executives. You can also, if you work with us regularly, you can talk to your SEO strategist. If that's your point person, you could talk to your account manager. If that's your point person, if you work with us in web design and web maintenance plans, and that's your active or regular interface with One Firefly, talk to your web designer. All of them will be able to ultimately get you pointed in the right direction. And the goal is to answer your questions so that you understand how you might design this into your planning and budgeting for 2026 and beyond.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we have a webinar coming up around LuxePost. Is that correct?
I think we do. And I have no idea what that date is, but I know it's on the calendar. So I hope you have that date, but I'll be on that webinar. I can promise you that.
No, we're going to have Allison add it into the show notes so that it's up for anybody that wants, along with a link to join. I believe we're going to do that. So we'll be able to do it. But that way you can meet the team behind it and ask all the questions you want in that if you want to. But again, like Ron said, reach out to any of us. So I just want to thank you again for being here, Ron. It's my favorite thing when I can make you play a game.
I always enjoy being on a show with you, Kat. And guess what? I have the answer for those that are out on their morning run and they are listening to us and they're like, my gosh, why is Kat making me look at show notes? It's November 6th. That is the next webinar. Now, what I don't know, Kat, do you know, when does this show drop?
Before that.
Before that. Okay. So it's November 6th at 1 p.m. And Allison is so awesome. She's over here messaging me. And this show is going to drop on November 3rd. So you have 3 days to now register for the webinar. And that registration link for sure will be down in the comments on social media and in the show notes on the page.
Unless you're listening to this after the fact, in which case you can reach out and I'm happy to send you the video of the webinar. We have recordings. We can send you that too. But excited for that. Thank you, Ron, again, for coming on the show. Want to appreciate everybody who's here listening and joining in with us. Until next time, this was a special bonus episode of Automation Unplugged Marketing Specialist. Thanks for tuning in. Keep innovating, keep growing, and maybe, just maybe, send a little bit of mail.